Okay, we're recording. All right, so tonight I want to talk about finishing the month strong. So we are, it is now the 20th of May. We have 11 more days to go in the month, really 10, and we need to look at ending the month on a strong note. So what I want to talk about is my biggest, I guess, positive thing that I try to always encourage everybody to doing is about talking about consistency. And so I am huge about being consistent in product posting. So something I've been doing, and if you follow me, over the last probably about a week and a half, I pretty much have consistently been posting about Triple Threat. And what that has done for me is it's sparked interest and I guess gotten people talking. The kind of messages I'm getting, I'm not getting a lot of responses on my posts, but the messages that I'm getting are, okay, girl, what is the hype about Triple Threat? Tell me about Triple Threat. And then it doesn't hurt that I'm personally using it as well and getting results. And so again, that's, a huge proponent of mine is being a product of the product. So that is something I'm big about, is find what you're using and talk about it every day. And so that's what I try to do, and that's what I encourage you to do. And that's what I want you to do as we go into the end of the month. Find one or two products and focus on that period. Saturate your environment, saturate your social media with those products that you use, and literally talk about them every day. So another thing I want to touch on too is having the right mindset as we go towards the end of the month. We have, you can look at the beginning of the month and go, have I done everything that I could this month? Have I started off strong? Have I, worked and put the effort in this month like I normally do? Or have I just been kind of getting by with an order here and an order there? So I listened to the Zoom from last night, and I posted it in the Without Borders group about the promotions. And one couple on there had said, if you at the end of the day look in the mirror at yourself and say, if everybody on my team worked as hard as I did today, would we make money? Would we promote? Would we have made money today? And I felt like that was a very good point that really hit home with me. Melody, did you do everything that you can do today to grow your business? Because it ultimately comes down, even when you have a team, ultimately comes down to every promotion is your personal promotion. And I think we forget that sometimes, because we do have to rely on those underneath us to do some selling. When you get as big as I am, I'm trying to go for triple. When you get this big, I have such a huge team underneath me, and I do have to rely on them pulling some of their own weight as well. But I can't expect you guys to perform or be doing something that I'm not doing myself. So I can honestly say that from the beginning of this month that I have pushed myself every day to be the best that I can be, and messaging and doing my daily task lists and being in the accountability group, because I want to be leading from the front. I want to be that example. I want, when people go on my Facebook page, to see that I'm doing the work and putting the work in. I want them to know what products I'm selling. I want them to see that if they are on my page, they know what I'm about and what I'm doing, and that I'm not going to have one of my my downline come on and be like, well, Melody hasn't posted in a week. That's not what you're going to find. You're going to find that daily consistency and integrating business in my life on social media. And for some people, that's a really hard thing to do when you first get started in this business, is putting yourself out there, putting your family out there, putting, your business out there. But I feel like once I took that step past that point and let go of some of that fear, that's when I started to really burst and really grow bigger and get past that. Why do people follow celebrities? Why do people follow bloggers? Because they're interested in what they have to say. It's almost like we become that for people. It's funny, I got a message the other day. I had asked somebody to host a post for me, And she said, me and so were just talking about you the other day. Well, I really don't know this person. Probably from association or a ball field mom, just, basically, I don't know that I even pick her out in a crowd. And the fact that her and a friend of hers was having a conversation about me the other day it shows that what I'm doing is working. My consistency, my branding of myself, of who I am, and the business, that is sparking interest for people even to be outside the business and be talking about it. That is sparking interest in the community. And so that is something that you have to realize, that when you're putting yourself out there and putting yourself onto social media, that people are interested in you, interested in what you have to say. The best responses that I get from product posts are product posts that include myself, or where I'm talking about something myself. We have a lot of great ad pictures. We have a lot of great before and after pictures, and I'm not against using those. But the best responses I get are when I have a product in my hand, or when I am personally talking about a product that I'm using. And by putting yourself out there, that is the best responses I get. I try to use, I watched that video, and again, I highly encourage, if you did not watch that Alyssa Marie video on social media that I put in Without Borders, I highly recommend that you go back and watch that, because stories are huge. And when you are working, especially Instagram, that is where stories are communicating to people better than our posts are. And so I use a lot of those, quote unquote ad pictures in my stories instead of on my posts. So I will try to keep my posts pretty streamlined and mainstreamed, and mostly me and family, or a cute picture, something attractive, and then use ad pictures before and after. It works ad pictures in my stories. She had some amazing tips, and I'm going to share one of them with you, because I never really understood, especially on Instagram and Facebook, the use of hashtags. Okay. I see people, they will put like a paragraph of hashtags with their posts and or with their story, and I've never really kind of, because again, I'm still learning this as well. I've never really understood what the purpose of that was. Well, what happens when you tag a hashtag? So say, you do hashtag boss babe, or hashtag, say baseball mom. Okay. What that does is that anybody that follows that hashtag, so say, just like I follow the shop Kiki LaRue. Okay. Love Kiki LaRue. I shop there online. Okay. So just like anytime Kiki LaRue's posted, tagged in something, I follow Kiki LaRue. So I see what people tag Kiki LaRue in. Okay. So the benefit of using a hashtag is that you are getting into that follow group, if that makes sense. So if you hashtag baseball moms, the people who follow baseball moms are going to see your It Works story, because you tagged them in it, if that makes sense. So what they did was they showed how you can hide hashtags in your stories, so people don't necessarily see the picture of it, but it still gets tagged into those hashtag or follow groups, and then that gets more people seeing your story. The reason why that's important to get more people seeing your story is because it increases your network. It grows your network. You have Susie Smith out in Hawaii who follows baseball moms, seeing your It Works story using keto energy at the baseball field, because you have a long tournament that day, and so you're reaching somebody who you would not potentially reach otherwise in your network, if that makes sense. So that's something huge I learned about on that that social media video, and I highly recommend going and watching that if you have not already watched it already. So I want to talk about upselling too, and a lot of people really do not care for upselling, and I, to be honest, hated upselling when I first got started in this business. I felt like I was just excited enough to have the order in the first place, and I was just happy that they were wanting to buy, I think a coffee or, TFX or whatever it may be. But what I have learned is that they are buying what we are just telling them about. Okay, so they're seeing a TFX post and they're thinking, I need to have that TFX post. What they don't know is, Melody, I'm fascinated with your weight loss journey, but I use 3 products. Me personally, I use Triple Threat. And so me talking about TFX and them thinking that they're going to get the same results that I have by just using TFX is not the truth, to be honest with you. And so we are doing almost them a disservice by not offering, a weight loss plan for them, or even helping them get jump started on the right foot. So what I like to do is either upsell with TFX Fat Fighters or upsell everything with the cleanse. The nice thing about the cleanse is it's pretty simple to explain. I'll say, hey, at checkout you have we have a 2-day cleanse that you've been offered to get for $36 today. And I'll put a little blurb on there, and if they want it, they want it. I typically have about 50% of people take my upsells. So what I'm suggesting for them, they will typically take that. There are a few times, and honestly, recently, there are a few times that I have not done the upselling because I was already selling them, a pretty decent package, or like they were getting coffee and greens. And then now, because I've been talking about Triple Threat, they're like, what is this about Triple Threat? And I'm having to go back in and order the TFX for them. And so it's almost like I, in the first place, did them and adjust this by not getting them started on the right foot at the very beginning. So that is something that I encourage you guys to think about, because we have that fear of having that conversation with them or getting them to spend more money or talking about more products, but yet in a way we're doing a disservice. They are going to get the maximum benefits from the products. They're going to get the maximum benefits when they have the correct plan for them. Okay. Another thing is that I talk to them about too is I want to know what kind of diet plan that they have when I'm talking to them about weight loss, because if they're already pretty clean eaters, I have a lot of people that are just trying to lose like the last 15, 20 pounds. And they've already been living a diet lifestyle, or they're already clean eaters. And so offering them TFX and Fat Fighters really isn't a fit for them. Reason being is because they aren't eating junk. They don't need the Fat Fighters to help them. This is when you look at the coffee. This is when you look at the cleanse. This is when you look at even Keto Energy. Keto Energy is known to help people that are struggling with losing that last bit of weight, and that helps them to be able to get their metabolism going even more with those B vitamins. And so you got to look at kind of how they're already living their life, because again, you want them to have those maximum results. You want them to be repeat customers. You want them to continue to buy. So you want to make sure that you're getting that right fit for them. This is going to be really short tonight. Like I said, I just wanted to talk a little bit about just finishing strong. I want you finding a couple products to be posting about regularly. I want you to saturate your market. I want you to consistently be messaging. I want to challenge you to every day be messaging at least 20 people to get a HAP up. Put those hosts to post up. Get those up. Get into other markets. I want you mass adding friends. I want you to sit there and make it a goal. By the end of the week, I want to have 100 new Facebook friends. I want to have 200 new Facebook friends. I want you to sit there and make that a mission. Let's step it up a level. Get into more markets. Get more people seeing your business. And that would be from doing host posts, mass adding friends, and then make sure you're saturating market with 1 or 2 products, period. Okay, make sure that you're posting about those morning, noon, night. Make sure you're integrating yourself into these products and integrating your ad pictures. Use stories. Like I said, go back and watch those videos that I recommended that I posted over the last couple of days. The one about promoting, it was excellent. And then the one about social media. I highly recommend that you watch that one, especially if you struggle with Instagram and Facebook stories. And so I would highly recommend, I learned a lot. And that's an area that I struggle with. So my sister just walked in the door. She is also
Hi, friends. How are we tonight?
So she's also a distributor. So she is going to give her 2 little cents real quick. And then I'm going to hop off. And I did record this, so I'll be sharing this in our group link.
Hi, guys. My 2 cents, Melody and I were talking about this earlier today. Consistency is definitely a big piece of the business. Posting what what you're comfortable with, what you feel confident in, what you use yourself. definitely goes a long way. I post pretty much the same 3 things. I'm a collagen addict. Collagen is definitely a big part of who I am and something that I am personally very enthusiastic about. Coffee and TFX. So those are the 3 things that I post a lot about. And that's, if you're going to look at my page, that's what you're going to see. I was talking to Melody earlier because I had gotten a message from someone that has never liked a single post of mine. I never have talked about the business to them or anything like that. And they messaged me saying, hey, what's this about these It Works products? Talk to me about what you're doing, what you're using. OPS, you look great, by the way. And so that was definitely a big part for me. Melody's always preaching consistency to me. And so that's a big part of what I try to do, is doing the same things every day, talking about the same things. I use them, so I'm enthusiastic about them. And so that I feel like that definitely makes a difference about what people see from me, and them wanting to use them because they see that they work. So those are my 2 cents. But I hope you ladies have a good night.
All right, so you're hearing the same thing from me. You're hearing the same thing from her, and mostly that's just because it works. Quote unquote, it works. I swear. I feel like, this business is very, very simple. I didn't get to Double Diamond because, I played around, and I've worked hard. I've put in the time for this business, but I've also made sure that I am working in this business every day, day in, day out. Something that Claire Flores said on the Zoom from last night was, when she was going Ambassador Diamond, she got up early, stayed up late, and put in the work to be able to make sure that she promoted. And I feel like sometimes we skip that part. We do the minimum and still think the minimum is going to get us to the next level. And in reality, these promotions are a lot of sales, and it's a lot of push, of our personal selves. It's a lot of extra work, and we're not ever going to step up to the next level if we're not willing to push ourselves out of our comfort zone just a little bit and sacrifice, because that's what it is. I mean, this is a lot of money. This is a huge change in income when you move up in these promotions, and it does require sacrifice. And so if you're not willing to put that sacrifice in, can you really look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, I've done everything that I can? If everybody on my team worked as hard as I did today, would we be successful? And that's a question that you just need to answer yourself every day. And you need to be able to look at and say, yes, if my team worked as hard as I did today, we would be very successful. We would be a promoting team. And that's what we all need to work on. So I appreciate you guys being on the call. I recorded this, so I will post it again shortly on YouTube. So have a great night. Thanks so much. Thanks for being on my team. I'm honored to have you guys a part, and I love you guys and appreciate everything that you do. Have a good night.